Hello my dear students and friends, welcome back. Here I am bringing a new topic of economics, production possibility curve, a very important topic of economics. In this video we will discuss the features of PPC curve, advantages and disadvantages and conclusion, and then later on we will draw the PPC curve and their different shapes. So PPC curve, also known as a production possibility frontier, PPF, a graphic representation of various production options that a company or economy has given its limited resources and technology. The PPC shows the maximum amount of two goods that can be produced given a fixed amount of resources and technology. Assuming that all resources are fully utilized, the curve is downward sloping, which means that as more of one good is produced, the production of other good decrease. This is because resources are limited and can only be used in production process at a time. The shape of PPC is determined by the law of increasing opportunity cost, which states that as the production of one good increase, the opportunity cost of producing an additional unit of that good also increase. This is because the resources that are best suited for producing the first few units of the good may not be as efficient for producing additional units and may be better suited for producing some other good. The PPC is useful for illustrating the trade-off that must be made when allocating resources between the production of different goods. It can also be used to determine the most efficient allocation of resources and to evaluate the impact of changes in resources or technology on production possibilities. Properties of PPC: scarcity. As we discussed that earlier, that scarcity is limited resources versus unlimited wants. PPC reflect the basic economic concept of scarcity. Since resources are limited, a nation or an organization must make choice about how to allocate these resources to produce the goods and services that people want and need. Opportunity cost is second property. The PPC shows the opportunity cost of producing one good in terms of production of another good. The opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that must be foregone in order to produce a good or service. So in short, we say that second best alternative foregone is called opportunity cost. Third property is trade-off. The PPC demonstrates that trade-off exists between the producing of one good or services and producing another. This means that as more of one good is produced, less of other goods can be produced. Efficiency. The PPC illustrates the concept of productive efficiency, which is achieved when resources are allocated in such a way that the maximum possible output of goods and services is produced. Economic growth. The PPC can shift outward over time as a result of improvement in technology, an increase in quantity or quality of resources, or an expansion of labor force. This represents economic growth and an increase in potential production. And sometimes PPC curve come in shift, inward shift. It means that there are technology are absolute, are old, they are decreasing quantity and quality of product, and maybe they are decreasing labor force, and there are recession in economy. The next feature of PPC curve is unemployment. Point inside the PPC curve represent a situation where not all resources are being used, indicate that there is unemployment or underutilization of resources. Economic inefficiency. Points outside the PPC represent a situation where resources are being used inefficiently or there is inefficiency in allocation of resources. Overall, the PPC curve is a useful tool for understanding the basic concept of scarcity, opportunity cost, trade-off, efficiency, economic growth, and resources allocation utilization in economics. The main feature is slope. The slope of PPC represents the opportunity cost of producing one good in term of another. As we move along with PPC, the opportunity cost of producing one good increase. Shape. The shape of PPC is typically curved, which indicate that the opportunity cost of producing one good increase as we move along with the curve. Efficiency. The point on the PPC represents the maximum output that can be produced with the given resources and technology. Any point inside the PPC represents the inefficiency of resources, while any point outside the PPC is unattainable because we have current resources and technology is very limited. Scarcity. The PPC assumes that resources are limited and scarce. Therefore, any increase in production of one good must come at the expense of producing less of another good. Trade-off. The PPC illustrates the concept of trade-off. To produce more of one good, an economy must give up some of production of another good. Concept of opportunity cost is there. Shift. Change in technology, resources, or institution can cause the PPC to shift outward, indicating an increase in potential production of both goods, or inward, indicating a decrease in the potential production of both goods. So inward indicate that inefficiency, and outward indicate that there are more potential of goods and services and we have used latest technology. Now we discuss the advantages of PPC curve. Efficient use of resources. The PPC helps to illustrate the efficient use of resources by showing the maximum amount of two goods that a society can produce with a given set of resources. Trade-off. The PPC highlights the trade-off between producing one good and another. As a society produces more of one good, it must give up some of production of another good. Opportunity cost. The PPC also shows the opportunity cost of producing one good in terms of production of another good that must be foregone. Planning. The PPC can be used as a planning tool to help policymakers make decisions about the allocation of the resources. The disadvantages of PPC. Assumption. The PPC assumes that resources are fixed and cannot be increased or decreased in short term. In reality, resources can be reallocated and new resources can be developed over time. Simplification. The PPC is simplification of real world, as it only considers two goods and assumes that they are homogeneous. Constant technology. The PPC assumes that the technology remains constant. However, technology is always changing, which can shift the PPC outward, allowing the production of more good. The next disadvantage is ignore external factors. That PPC ignore external factors that can be affect production, such as government policies, international trade, and the environment. These factors can be a significant impact on the society's ability to produce goods. In conclusion, the production possibility curve is a useful tool for analyzing the trade-off that arise from scarcity and can help to illustrate the concept of efficiency and the opportunity of producing one good versus another good. And now we practically make the curve and discuss the changes in the curve, in which scenario that change is happening, inward or outward. Okay, here we are draw the PPC curve. I try my best to show it properly. As we discussed that curve, the curve must be, the line must be in curve like that. That is basically, we see that technology manufacturing good, and here agriculture good. So here there are different points. and here we say that okay, this is point A, point B, point C, point D, point E, point F, point G and H. So we say that okay, this is basically this type of curve. I'm sorry, I'm drawing on using a pen, and now we discuss the different properties of assumptions of PPC curve. In the particular assumption, we assume that a country can produce overall a points. The country produce at point A and B and C and so on. So now opportunity cost. The formula of opportunity cost, as we know that the second best alternative foregone. The formula is loss divided by gain, or foregone divided by obtained. And now we discuss the different opportunity cost along with different PPC curve. Opportunity cost along different PPC and here we have to move this thing. We draw that. We say that this is X and this is Y. And here we point A, B, and let's suppose this is a point C. And on we see that M1, M2, M3, we say that here A, B, and we say that C. So we say that the opportunity cost from point A to point B from here to here. We say that we are leaving M1, M2 divided and gain by A1 and A2. In case 2 we have to draw this thing again. Sorry. Now we say that this is that is called, we say that increasing return, increasing opportunity cost. And here we discuss the constant opportunity cost. constant opportunity cost. Here we have to move this thing point A, point B and point C. M1, M2, M3, A1, A2 and A3. Here we have to say that thing, that whatever you have to gain equal to whatever you have to lose. And now we discuss the third type, and that is called decreasing opportunity cost. And here we have to move the graph from inward shift. We have to say this thing. Point A, point A1, A2, A3, M1, M2 and M3. So you have to understand that thing, this is decreasing opportunity cost, but you have to lose and what you have to gain. Point A, point B and point C. And now we discuss the shifted in opportunity cost, causes of shifted. Shifts in PPC. Now we discuss the reason behind that. What are the reasons behind to change in PPC curve? The first scenario is, we say that this is the normal one, and when we have to go for the outward shift, we see that X and X1, and here we see that Y and Y1. Increasing return. Now we discuss effect. The fact is that the country's production, the country has become more productive, more productive of both goods. In both goods there are economic growth, now we discuss we say that increase in resources, how many types of increase in resources and how the resources can be increased. Increase in resources, we say that we know that there are FOPs, increase in FOPs, like example we say the land, capital and labor. So how the resources can maybe increase, maybe discovery of new land, discovery of new natural resources, and capital is that increase in man-made resources, investment, increase in man-made resources, increase in investment, and in labor we see that increase in birth rate, decrease in death rate, increase in immigration, decrease in migration, decrease in retirement age, school leaving age may be decrease, increase in working hours, or we say that increase in weekdays, decrease in holidays, or increase work women's participation. So maybe increase in PPC curve. And now we discuss another scenario. Second scenario, we say that here it will decrease. The reason behind that, decrease in capital investment, your destroy of natural resources, your decrease in natural resources, or we see that decrease in birth rate, increase in death rate, decrease in holidays, increase in holidays, and we say that decrease working hours, decrease women's participation, or we say that increase in immigration and decrease in other factors are also there. Now we discuss the different scenario. Manufacturing and agriculture. Either agriculture is constant and manufacturing is constant, agriculture is decreasing, or manufacturing is constant, agriculture is increasing. Affects that ability of producing, agriculture good more than manufacturing. Yeah, we say that manufacturing is constant. is constant. Causes: production capacity of agriculture has increased. What are the causes? Production capacity is increase or decrease due to efficient resources. We see that there are more natural resources are there, or depletion of resources, and there is no effect of manufacturing good. No effect on manufacturing goods. We say that causes may increase or decrease of fertility of land, a change in economic change in climate condition. And now we say that draw the another graph of PPC curve. Here manufacturing and agriculture. Here agriculture is constant and manufacturing is increasing, or agriculture is constant, manufacturing is decreasing. The fact is that ability of producing manufacturing good increase or decrease, whereas agriculture goods remain constant. Now another shape of PPC curve. Sorry. Here agriculture, manufacturing is increasing, and we say that agriculture is decreasing. The same resources have been efficiently, some sources have efficiently, sources have been shifted from agriculture to manufacturing phase. Another shape of PPC opposite of the above graph. Here manufacturing goods are decreasing, but agriculture is increasing. Same answer, some resources are shifted from manufacturing to agriculture. So basically we say that PPC curve generally show everything aspect that what type of happening in general resources. We have a combination of two different goods, manufacturing, agricultural goods, and we discuss in all the aspect, features, advantages, disadvantages of PPC curve in the slides, and here we discuss how to draw and what their effects. I hope so you understand everything regarding PPC curve, a very important topic of economics. I hope so everyone will understand. Thank you very much. See you in next video.